And it's a new episode at last.
And in my mother's womb was fashioned to be flesh in the time of 10 months, being compacted in blood of the seed of man.
That's right.
Of the seed of man.
The word seed is sperm, and sperm comes through having sex.
It's shut out of your father's rod.
Right.
Put it in layman terms, in his penis.
That's right.
That means a man put his penis in a woman and bust off in it.
Then the angel said to him, "Take out the entrails of this fish, and lay up his heart and his gall and his liver for thee. For these are necessary for useful medicines."
The rest of the chapters of the book of Esther,
Go ahead.
which are found neither in the Hebrew nor in the Chaldee.
Greetings, fellow workers, slaves, podcasting at 128 kilobits from the Fortress of Squalitude. This is the Atheist in the Trailer Park podcast. I'm your host, Tucker. Professor Fuzznuts is bouncing this way. Yes, it's a podcast hosted by a guy and he's cat. Get over it. This is a Biblical Apocrypha episode where I and a guest read a book or two from the Biblical Apocrypha. Ouch. Fuzznuts, you're just clawing everything, aren't you, you little shitbag? My apologies for this being late. It's kind of a long story. Involves me being stupid, so I won't really give it here, especially since it's getting close to my bedtime, and it's Monday night, and I still haven't gotten this thing posted yet. Patreon listeners, you do have your Patreon-only episode for this month that I had promised earlier, and I will get you another one here after ReasonCon. As I said, I'm not sure what it'll be. Might be something I recorded at ReasonCon, or it might be something else. All just depends on how it works out. And the Patreon listeners will know this, but the regular listeners won't, so I'll just go ahead and say it now so that when it happens won't surprise everybody. What I decided to do to fill in for the, me being gone to ReasonCon next weekend is the latest Patreon episode I just put up will actually hit the regular feed next Sunday sometime. If I've set everything up correctly, we shall see. It may hit before then, it may not hit then at all. I won't know until it does. But my reason for doing that is, I really have been hugely pressed for time here of late, so I didn't have time to do what I wanted to do with the filler episode. I hate using that term, but that's what will work for right now since I'm doing this on the fly. And the Patreon episode is one, I figure, put it out there for the regular folks so they can hear some of the things that I talk about on the Patreon-only episodes, and it gives a nice fill-in for, a nice replacement episode for the news episode that you'll be missing this month. And it has a great show title, which you won't get to find out until next week, unless you're a Patreon subscriber. Then you can find out right now, because I've already posted it. I had to edit that episode tonight, and then I had to record this bumper and edit the rest of this episode. And in this episode, I am joined once again by Chris Watson from the Podunk Polymath podcast, who helped me read more of The Wisdom of Jesus, Son of Sirach. There's a few interesting moments in it. Really kind of interesting moments, I think. And I'm not being the least bit sarcastic when I say that. You'll know when the best two moments hit. Because one of them inspired the show title. And the other, well, you'll just have to wait and see. Alright, with all that being said, because like I said, it's getting late, I've got to get to bed, here is Chris and I reading from Son of Sirach, or The Wisdom of Jesus, Son of Sirach.
All right, let's get it going. Wisdom lifteth up the head of him that it is of low degree, and maketh him to sit among great men. Commend not a man for his beauty, neither abhor a man for his outward appearance. The bee is little among such as fly, but her fruit is the chief of sweet things. Okay, that's deep.
Yeah. Boast not of thy clothing and raiment, and exalt not thyself in the day of honor. For the works of the Lord are wonderful, and his works are among men hidden. Okay. Many kings have sat down upon the ground, and one that was never thought of hath worn the crown. The fuck does that even mean?
I don't even know.
Many mighty men have been greatly disgraced, and the honorable delivered into other men's hands.
Blame not before thou hast examined the truth, understand first, and then rebuke. Answer not before thou hast heard the cause, neither interrupt men in the midst of their talk. Strive not in a matter that concerneth thee not, and sit not in judgment with sinners. Well, that's just common sense shit. Okay.
Yeah. And
well, except...
And this book is, it's got to have been written after the New Testament, but it looks to me like it was phrased so that it was trying to, appear like it was written before the New Testament. Because, there's some pretty clear hints here, that they're obliquely trying to refer to Jesus so they can say, oh, see, this was prophecy. This was prophecy.
That's what they always try to do.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Okay. My son, meddle not with many matters, for if thou meddle much, thou shalt not be innocent. And if thou follow after, thou shalt not obtain.
Just say that 5 times fast. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. It's okay. It's just confusing. Neither shalt thou escape by fleeing. Okay. I know a few people who would disagree with that one. There is one that laboureth, and taketh pains, and maketh haste, and is so much the more behind. So you're a giant ass, I guess?
Yeah,
Again, there is another that is slow, and hath need of help, wanting ability, and full of poverty. Yet the eye of the Lord looked upon him for good, and set him up from his low estate.
These are all very wise things, I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, something like that.
And lifted up his head from misery, so that many that saw from him is peace over all thee. Okay, I think something messed up there. Prosperity and adversity, life and death, poverty and riches come of the Lord. Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the law are of the Lord. Love and the way of good works are from him.
So, if you're gay, that's from God.
Don't tell them that. Their brains will shorter out.
Yeah. Error and darkness had their beginning together with sinners, and evil shall wax old with them that glory therein. The gift of the Lord remaineth with the ungodly, and his favor bringeth prosperity forever. There is that waxeth rich by his wariness and pinching. And this is the portion of his reward. The fuck?
No, I don't know. Whereas he saith, I have found rest, and now will eat continually of my goods, and yet he knoweth not what time shall come upon him, and that he must leave those things to others and die. Be steadfast in thy covenant, and be conversant therein, and wax old in thy work. Marvel not at the works of sinners, but trust in the Lord, and abide in thy labor. For it is an easy thing in the sight of the Lord on the sudden to make a poor man rich. Okay. Whatever.
Yeah. The blessing of the Lord is in the reward of the godly, and suddenly he maketh his blessing flourish. Okay. Say not, what profit is there of my service, and what good things shall I have hereafter? Okay. Again, say not, I have enough and possess many things, and what evil shall I have hereafter? I'm confused.
I don't know. In the day of prosperity, there is a forgetfulness of affliction, and in the day of affliction, there is no more remembrance of prosperity. For it is an easy thing unto the Lord in the day of death to reward a man according to his ways. The affliction of an hour maketh a man forget pleasure, and in his end his deeds shall be discovered. Yeah, it's just a bunch of fucking gibberish.
Judge none blessed before his death, for a man shall be known in his children.
Hey, phrasing!
Sounds like incest to me.
Incest is best.
Put your relatives to the test. The closer they can, the deeper it goes in.
Okay, so you know too many phrases for that.
If you can't keep it in your pants, keep it in the family.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
Bring not every man into thine house, for the deceitful man hath many trains. So you're not supposed to run a train on somebody, I'm guessing.
Like as a partridge taken and kept in a cage, so is the heart of the proud. And like as a spy watcheth he for thy fall. For he lieth in wait, and turneth good into evil, and in things worthy praise will lay a blame upon thee. Of a spark of fire a heap of coals is kindled, and a sinful man layeth wait for blood. Ooh, God. Mm. Take heed of a mischievous man, for he worketh wickedness, lest he bring upon thee a perpetual blot. Receive a stranger into thine house, and he will disturb thee, and turn thee out of thine own.
Oh, and I forgot to mention this. I learned a new phrase this week.
Okay.
Printer cartilage.
Printer cartilage. Okay.
She was trying to say printer cartridge.
Wait, that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
but it came out. Printer cartridge. They put the wrong printer cartridge in there. I love living in the South sometimes. Alrighty. When thou will do good, know to whom thou doest it. So shalt thou be thanked for thy benefits. So don't do good for a stranger, do good to somebody you know. Okay.
It sounds good to me, yeah. I'm okay with that.
Do good to the godly man, and thou shalt find a recompense. And if not from him, yet from the Most High. But this contradicts the thing before in the last section.
Don't question.
And I read.
Don't question God. Stop questioning God, Tucker. Stop.
There can no good come to him that is always occupied in evil, nor to him that giveth no alms.
Give to the godly man, and help not a sinner. Do well unto him that is lowly, but give not to the ungodly. Hold back thy bread, and give it not unto him, lest he overmaster thee thereby. For else thou shalt receive twice as much evil for all the good thou shalt have done unto him. For the Most High hateth sinners, and will repay vengeance unto the ungodly, and keepeth them against the mighty day of their punishment. That doesn't... That's contradictory.
That's a real dick move.
Yeah, that sounds like I don't know.
Give unto the good, and help not the sinner. You just said that shit. A friend cannot be known in prosperity, and an enemy cannot be hidden in adversity.
What?
I don't know. Makes no sense to me at all. In the prosperity of a man, enemies will be grieved, but in his adversity, even a friend will depart. then they're not really a friend.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Was it 10? Yeah.
Yep.
Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not altogether been wiped away. There's one more. Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words, and be pricked therewith. Got that?
Okay. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beasts? So one that goeth to a sinner, and is defiled with him in his sins, who will pity? For a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry.
Nope. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. Ooh. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first, and though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. He will shake his head and clap his hands and whisper much and change his countenance. So, stay away from these two-faced motherfuckers, basically, is what they're saying.
Sounds like that to me. He that toucheth pitch shall be defiled therewith, and he that hath fellowship with a proud man shall be like unto him. Burden not thyself above thy power, while thou livest, and have no fellowship with one that is mightier and richer than thyself. So don't hang out with rich people, for how agree the kettle and the earthen pot together? For if the one be smitten against the other, it shall be broken. Okay. The rich man hath done wrong, and yet he threateth wherewithal. The poor is wronged, and he must entreat also.
Yeah, I don't know that.
I think English, motherfucker, can you speak it?
Do you speak it? If thou be for his profit, he will use thee. But if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee. If thou have anything, he will live with thee. Yea, he will make thee bear, and will not be sorry for it. If he have need of thee, he will deceive thee, and smile upon thee, and put thee in hope. He will speak thee fair, and say, What wantest thou?
Oh.
I want the shit to make sense.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
And he will shame thee by his meats. So, he's got a bigger dick than you. Until he have drawn thee twice, until he have drawn thee dry twice or thrice. Okay. And at last he will laugh thee to scorn afterward when he seeth thee. He will forsake thee and shake his head at thee.
Okay.
Beware that thou be not deceived and brought down in thy jollity. If thou be invited of a mighty man, withdraw thyself, and so much the more will he invite thee. So play hard to get.
Press thou not upon him, lest thou be put back. Stand not far off, lest thou be forgotten. Affect not to be made equal unto him in talk, and believe not his many words. For with much communication will he tempt thee, and smiling upon thee will get out thy secrets. But cruelly he will lay upon thy words, and will not spare to do thee hurt, and to put thee in prison. Sounds like a great guy.
Yep. Observe, and take good heed, for thou walkest in peril of thy overthrowing. When thou hearest these things, awake in thy sleep. Kind of hard to hear something when you're asleep, but anyways. Love the Lord all thy life, and call upon him for thy salvation. Every beast loveth his like, and every man loveth his neighbor.
Nuh-uh.
Wow, I mean, this has taken a dramatic turn for the stupid compared to the previous one.
That does not surpriseth me. Yeah. All flesh consorteth according to kind, and a man will cleave to his like. What fellowship hath the wolf with the lamb? So the sinner with the godly. What agreement is there between the hyena and the dog? And what peace between the rich and the poor? Well, that all makes complete sense.
As the wild ass is the lion's prey in the wilderness, so the rich eat up the poor.
That wild ass.
Yeah.
Get your wild ass home.
Gonna eat your poor wild ass up, motherfucker. As the proud hate humility, so doth the rich abhor the poor. You ain't kidding there, buddy.
Yeah, that's right.
A rich man beginning to fall is held up of his friends, but a poor man being down is thrust away by his friends. Okay.
When a rich man is fallen, he hath many helpers. He speaketh things not to be spoken, and yet men justify him. The poor man slipped, and yet they rebuked him too. He spake wisely, and could have no place. When a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue, and look, what he saith, they extol it to the clouds. But if the poor man speak, oh, no, hell no. They say, what fellow is this? And if he stumble, they will help to overthrow him. Riches are good unto him that hath no sin, and poverty is evil in the mouth of the ungodly. That made some sense.
Yeah. The heart of a man changeth his countenance, whether it be for good or evil, and a merry heart maketh a cheerful countenance. A cheerful countenance is a token of a heart that is in prosperity, and the finding out of parables is a wearisome labor of the mind. Boy, you ain't just whistling Dixie there, brother.
Are you the pot or the kettle? You the one that putting the parables out this whole time.
Yeah. Blessed is the man that hath not slipped with his mouth, and is not pricked with the multitude of sins.
Okay, that sounds a little bit, dirty.
Oops. Missed the snack bar, hit the shithole.
Ooh, gross. Anyway, blessed is he whose conscience hath not condemned him, and who is not fallen from his hope in the Lord. Riches are not comely for a niggard, okay, calm down. And what should an envious man do with his money? He that gathereth by defrauding his own soul gathereth for others, that shall spend his goods riotously.
Yeah. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his goods. There is none worse than he that envieth himself, and this is a recompense of his wickedness. And if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly, and at the last he will declare his wickedness. The envious man hath a wicked eye. He turneth away his face, and despiseth men, showing them the brown eye.
A covetous man's eye is not satisfied with his portion, and the iniquity of the wicked drieth his soul. A wicked eye envieth his bread, and he is a niggard at his table. Make sure I say that right. My son, according to thy ability, do good to thyself, and give the Lord his due offering. Remember that death will not be long in coming, and that the covenant of the grave is not showed upon me.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
Do good unto thy friend before thou die, and according to thy ability, stretch out thy hand and give to him. Defraud not thyself of the good day, and let not the part of a good desire overpass thee. Okay. Shalt thou not leave thy travails unto another, and thy labors to be divided by lot?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Give and take, and sanctify thy soul, for there is no seeking of dainties in the grave. I guess not. All flesh waxeth old as a garment, for the covenant from the beginning is, thou shalt die the death. As if the green leaves in the thick tree, some fall, some grow, so is the generation of flesh and blood. One cometh to an end, and another is born. Well, that's real cheery. Okay.
Every work rotteth and consumeth away, and the worker thereof shall go withal. Blessed is the man that doth meditate good things in wisdom, and that reasoneth of holy things by his understanding. That's what it says.
I know.
He that considereth her ways in his heart shall also have understanding in her secrets. I guess we're back to talking about wisdom as a person again.
I guess so. Oh, it's me.
Yeah.
Go after her as one that traceth, and lie in wait in her ways. He that prieth in at her windows shall also hearken at her doors. Oh, yeah. He that doth lodge near her house shall also fasten a pin in her walls. Okay. Sounds kinky.
Yeah. He shall pinch his tent nigh unto her. Ha, ha.
There it is.
And shall lodge in a lodging where good things are.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, wow. He shall set his children under her shelter, and shall lodge under her branches. By her he shall be covered from heat, and in her glory shall he dwell.
Got a little kinky there at the end.
Yeah.
He that feareth the Lord will do good. He that hath the knowledge of the law shall obtain her. And as a mother shall she meet him, and receive him as a wife married of a virgin. With the bread of understanding shall she feed him, and give him the water of wisdom to drink.
Yeah, but I don't particularly care for virgins, and you know, the water of wisdom is not as good as the water of life, because the water of life is the name for the distilled alcohol in various languages. Like whiskey is Gaelic for waters of life. Vodka is apparently Russian for waters of life, and so on.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'd rather have that than wisdom. Right?
Yeah.
He shall be stayed upon her. Okay? But in the section that Heretic Woman and I read, it was pretty clear that wisdom liked being on top. I'm not kidding. And shall not be moved. So you're a lousy lay, and shall rely upon her. So he's going to make her do all the work. And
Yes,
shall
sir.
not be confounded. Okay? She shall exalt him above his neighbors, and in the midst of the congregation shall she open his mouth. So he's going to have to swallow that big cock. He shall find joy and a crown of gladness, and she shall cause him to inherit an everlasting name.
Oh, yeah.
John Holmes, baby.
But foolish men shall not attain unto her, and sinners shall not see her. For she is far from pride, and men that are liars cannot remember her. Praise is not seemly in the mouth of a sinner, for it was not sent him of the Lord.
For praise shall be uttered in wisdom, and the Lord will prosper in it. Okay. Say not thou, it is through the Lord that I fell away, for thou oughtest not to do the things that he hateth. Huh? Say not thou, he hath caused me to err, for he hath no need of the sinful man.
The Lord hateth all abomination, and they that fear God love it not. He himself made man from the beginning, and left him in the hand of his counsel. If thou wilt to keep the commandments, and to perform acceptable faithfulness.
He hath set fire and water before thee. Stretch forth thy hand unto whether thou wilt. Okay. Before man is life and death, and whether him liketh shall be given him. Yeah, what the fuck?
I don't.
For the wisdom of the Lord is great, and he is mighty in power, and beholdeth all things. Okay.
And in his eyes are upon them that fear him, and he knoweth every work of man. He hath commanded no man to do wickedly, neither hath he given any man license to sin.
Yes, he actually fucking did. He fucking did.
On several occasions.
Well, no, I mean, he put the damn apple, or, the fruit in the garden and said, don't eat this, even though you can't possibly understand why you shouldn't eat it until you eat it, so, fuck it.
And I'll read the one. Desire not a multitude of unprofitable children, neither delight in ungodly sons.
Though they multiply, rejoice not in them, except the fear of the Lord be with them. Trust that not thou in their life, neither respect their multitude, for one that is just is better than 1,000, and better it is to die without children than to have them that are ungodly. Okay. For by one that hath understanding shall the city be replenished, but the kindred of the wicked shall speedily become desolate. Okay.
Many such things I have seen with mine eyes, and mine ear hath heard greater things than these. In the congregation of the ungodly shall a fire be kindled, and in a rebellious nation wrath is set on fire. He was not pacified toward the old giants who fell away in the strength of their foolishness. Okay, that makes no sense.
Yeah. Neither spared he the place where Lot sojourned, but abhorred them for their pride. I speak English. He pitied not the people of perdition who were taken away in their sins, nor the 600,000 footmen who were gathered together in the hardness of their hearts. I have no idea what the fuck that's referring to.
I don't know either. And if there be one stiff-necked among the people, it is marvel if he escape unpunished. For mercy and wrath are with him. He is mighty to forgive and to pour out displeasure. As his mercy is great, so is his correction also. He judges the man according to his works. The sinners shall not escape with his spoils, and the patience of the godly shall not be frustrated.
Yeah.
I guess.
The Lord hardened Pharaoh. I thought that was Viagra. That he should not know him, that his powerful works might be known to the world. I think there could have been a better way of doing it, rather than allowing the firstborn to be murdered, just to prove that you've got a bigger dick. He
loves it. He loves murdering people.
When you have this giant column of fire that you use to guide people around. I think if that wandered around Egypt for a little while, and then the Jews were told to follow it, that probably would have done as well without anybody being killed.
I'm thinking that's correct.
His mercy is manifest to every creature. Really? I don't think so. And he hath separated his light from the darkness with an adamant.
Say not thou, I will hide myself from the Lord. Shall any remember me from above? I shall not be remembered among so many people. For what is my soul among such an infinite number of creatures? Behold, the heaven and the heaven and the heavens. That's what the heaven and the heaven of heavens, the deep and the earth, and all that therein is, shall be moved when he shall visit. The mountains also and foundations of the earth be shaken with trembling when the Lord looketh upon them.
Okay, whatever. No heart can think upon these things worthily. And who is able to conceive his ways? It is a tempest which no man can see. for the most part of his works are hid. Who can declare the works of his justice, or who can endure them? Wow. So God gives you justice and it kills you. That's not really cool there. For his covenant is afar off, and the trial of all things is in the end.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah.
He that wanteth understanding will think upon vain things, and the foolish man erring imagineth follies. My son, hearken unto me, and learn knowledge, and many mark my words with thy heart. I will show forth doctrine and wait, and declare his knowledge exactly. Sure, man.
Yeah, okay. The works of the Lord are done in judgment from the beginning, and from the time he made them, he disposed the parts thereof. He garnished his works forever. Put a little kale, some radishes, And in his hand are the chief of them unto all generations. So he's holding his dick in his hands. They neither labor, nor are weary, nor cease from their works.
Sure. None of them hindereth another, and they shall never disobey his word. After this the Lord looked upon the earth, and filled it with his blessings. With all manner of living things hath he covered the face thereof, and they shall return into it again.
So, we're in a giant bukkake film.
Wow, that great way to put that. Wait for that image.
The Lord created man of the earth and turned him into it again. He gave them few days and a short time, tell that to Methuselah, and power also over the things therein. Right. Just do that with a hurricane, buddy. Just go tell that hurricane to break left rather than wiping out Miami or whatever. He endued them with strength by themselves and made them according to his image. So, if you believe the Christian fundamentalists, the people in charge are more godly than the people not in charge, which means God has tiny hands like Trump.
That should surprise absolutely no one, considering the same narcissism applies.
Yep.
Let's see. And put the fear of man upon all flesh, and gave him dominion over beasts and fowls. They received the use of the 5 operations of the Lord, and in the 6th place he imparted them understanding, and in the 7th speech, an interpreter of the cogitations thereof. Counsel and the tongue and eyes, ears and the heart gave he them to understand. Sure.
Okay.
Awesome.
Withal, he filled them with knowledge of understanding, and shewed them good and evil. He set his eye upon their hearts, that he might shew them the greatness of his works. He gave them to glory in his marvelous acts forever, that they might declare his works with understanding.
And the elect shall praise his holy name. Beside this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for an heritage. He made an everlasting covenant with them, and shewed them his judgments.
Their eyes saw the majesty of his glory, and their ears heard his glorious voice. And he said unto them, Beware of all unrighteousness, and he gave every man commandment concerning his neighbor. No, that was Jebus, who didn't exist until after this book was supposed to have written, so fuck him. Their ways are ever before him, and shall not be hid from his eyes.
Every man from his youth is given to evil, neither could they make themselves fleshy hearts for stony. For in the division of the nations of the whole earth he set up a ruler over every people, but Israel is the Lord's portion, whom, being his firstborn, he nourisheth with discipline, and giving him the light of his love, doth not forsake him.
That's why Israel didn't exist for a few hundred years.
Yeah, exactly.
Therefore, all their works are as the sun before him, and his eyes are continually upon their ways. So he's going blind. That would explain an awful lot, actually, now that I think about it. None of their unrighteous deeds are hid from him, but all their sins are before the Lord. But the Lord, being gracious and knowing his workmanship, neither left nor forsook them, but spared them. So, if you're an Israeli, you can do whatever the fuck you want, and you're still getting into heaven because you're just God's bitch.
And they act like it, too.
Yeah.
Let's see. The alms of a man is a signet with him, and he will keep the good deeds of man as the apple of the eye, and give repentance to his sons and daughters. Afterwards he will rise up and reward them and render their recompense upon their heads. But unto them that repent he granted them return, and comforted those that failed in patience. Sounds great.
Yeah. Return unto the Lord, and forsake thy sins. Make thy prayer before his face, and offend less. Turn again to the Most High, and turn away from iniquity. Every time I hear the word iniquity, all I can think about is the stupid Book of Mormon. Iniquity, stiff-necked, and it came to pass. That's where I heard them the most.
Yep.
For he will lead thee out of darkness into the light of health, and hate thou abomination vehemently.
Who shall praise the Most High in the grave, instead of them that which live and give thanks? Thanksgiving perisheth from the dead, as from one that he is not. The living and sound in heart shall praise the Lord. How great is the loving kindness of the Lord unto our God, and his compassion unto such as turn unto him in holiness.
And I should point out that apparently, according to the sections that Heretic Woman and I read, the ultimate woman is a fat zombie chick.
Okay.
You have to listen to it to get the context, but yeah, apparently you want a fat zombie chick chasing you around going, brains, brains.
Wow. I think I'll pass on that.
Well, you know what they say about fat girls and mopeds.
Actually, I don't, but I'm sure you
They're
do.
both fun to ride until a friend sees you on one.
Alrighty then.
For all things cannot be in men, because the Son of Man is not immortal. What is brighter than the sun? Yet the light thereof faileth, and flesh and blood will imagine evil. He vieweth the power of the height of heaven, and all men are but earth and ashes.
Oh, that's cheery stuff.
I like that line, earth and ashes.
This is really uplifting stuff. Man.
Yeah, it is. Well, you want to go to number 18?
He that liveth forever hath created all things in general. The Lord only is righteous, and there is none other but he, who governeth the world with the palm of his hand, and all things obey his will. For he is the king of all, by his power dividing holy things among them for profane.
Okay. So the Lord only is righteous, and there is none other but he, which means we do not exist. We're all a figment of God's imagination.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. To whom hath he given power to declare his works? And who shall find out his noble acts?
I don't know.
Who shall number the strength of his majesty? Well, considering he's supposed to be all these things and we don't exist, not us. And who shall also tell out his mercies?
Mm-hmm.
As for the wondrous works of the Lord, there may nothing be taken from them. No, that's not true. I've seen some wonderful breasts that have been taken because of breast cancer. So, fuck it.
Oh, man. Goddamn.
Neither may anything be put unto them. Well, I've actually... Never mind, we won't go into that one.
Okay.
neither can the ground of them be found out. Huh? What the fuck does that mean?
I don't fucking know. I've long ago forgotten to try to get any goddamn meaning out of this shit. Alright. 7. When a man hath done, then he beginneth. And when he leaveth off, then he shall be doubtful. What the fuck? What is man, and whereto serveth he? What is his good, and what is his evil? The number of man's days at the most are 100 years.
Longest anybody's lived has been 127 years and so many months.
Yeah, exactly. That's 100.
As a drop of water unto the sea, and a gravestone in comparison of the sand, so are 1,000 years to the days of eternity. Like sands through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives.
Nice.
Therefore is God patient with them, and poureth forth his mercy upon them. Is that what you're calling it? He saw and perceived their end to be evil, but chose to do nothing about it. Therefore he multiplied his compassion.
He multiplied some, and he wanted compassion. The mercy of man is toward his neighbor, but the mercy of the Lord is upon all flesh. He reproveth, and nurtureth, and teacheth and bringeth again as a shepherd his flock. He hath mercy on them that receive discipline, and that diligently seek after his judgments. My son, blemish not thy good deeds, neither use uncomfortable words when thou givest anything. Sure.
Yeah, okay. Prior to this, we figured out wisdom was a dominatrix. So, I think we've got some problems here. Shall not the dew assuage the heat? I think it's supposed to be assuage, but it's spelled assuage.
No, it's a swat, isn't it? A-S-U-A-G-E? Assuage? Is it assuage?
It should only be one S in that, I do believe.
It's way misspelled, but you're right. It's ass wage.
Yeah.
That's how much you get paid to give out ass, is ass wage.
Yeah. So is a word better than a gift?
No.
No.
Well.
Depends on the circumstances.
Yeah.
Lo, is not a word better than a gift, but both are with a gracious man. The fuck? A fool will upbraid churlishly, and a gift of the envious consumeth the eyes.
I like churlishly. I like that word.
Yeah.
Learn before thou speak, and use physic. What the fuck? Is it a word, physic, or ever thou be sick?
Yeah, that is, I believe, an ancient word for, like surgery.
Okay. Before judgment examine thyself, and in the day of visitation thou shalt find mercy. Humble thyself before thou be sick, and in the time of sin show repentance. Shew repentance.
Let nothing hinder thee to pay thy vow in due time, and defer not until death be to be justified. Okay. Before thou prayest, prepare thyself, and be not as one that tempteth the Lord. So don't show God your tits. Think upon the wrath that shall be at the end, and the time of vengeance when he shall turn away his face.
When thou hast enough, remember this time of hunger, and when thou art rich, think about poverty and need. From the morning until the evening the time is changed, and all the things are soon done before the Lord. A wise man will fear in everything, and in the day of sinning he will beware of offense. But a fool will not observe time.
Okay. Every man of understanding knoweth wisdom, and will give praise unto him that found her. They that were of understanding in sayings become also wise themselves, and poured forth exquisite parables. Go not after thy lusts, but refrain thyself from thine appetites.
Is that? Okay. If thou givest thy soul the desires that please her, she will make thee a laughingstock to thine enemies that malign thee. Take not pleasure in much good cheer, neither be tied to the expense thereof. Be not made a beggar by banqueting upon borrowing. Okay. When thou hast nothing in thy purse, for thou shalt lie in wait for thine own life and be talked on.
Okay. You go ahead and tell everybody about your podcast.
Of course, I am the Podunk Polymath at podunkpolymath.com. Twitter at Podunk Polymath. Email podunk.polymath@gmail.com. You can find me on Facebook at the Podunk Polymath. Pretty much Podunk Polymath everywhere. You know, of course, you find me on iTunes, Stitcher, or your favorite podcaster catcher. Whatever.
Alrighty, and I thank you, and
that's it for this episode of The Atheist in the Trailer Park Podcast. You can subscribe to the show on iTunes, Stitcher, as well as just about anywhere else podcasts can be found. Many of the episodes are also on YouTube. Follow the show on Twitter. At TParkAtheist is the show's Twitter handle. It's on Facebook at facebook.com/trailerparkatheist.com. If you happen to like the podcast, please rate it on iTunes. If you'd like to support the podcast, there's a donate button on the show notes page. You can support it via Patreon at patreon.com/TNTucker. Thanks for listening.
Say goodnight, Fosnots.
All I know is this violates every canon of respectable broadcasting.
Damned cat.